welcome back to Two Homers and a Realist. Well, guys, now we wait. The wait is on. Sooners are most likely, almost certainly, in the playoff. We don't know where we're going to fall. We don't know if we're going to get to host. We think we will. We're going to discuss that. I'm Steve.
I'm Connor.
Jay.
Lucas isn't with us. He is too distraught thinking about the scenarios, thinking about how bad it would be to get this close and not host. So he's having to take some time off.
Wrong.
He's sick from being wrong because he's been wrong because
He's a
the
sick
Sooners,
realist.
the Sooners are 10-2, and he predicted not 10-2.
Definitely didn't predict the playoff.
In fact, we're going to do a little review of some predictions we made. And as a preview to more predictions, some of it will be grading our predictions come Sunday in the next pod for next week in terms of the playoff and who the conference champions were, but also making our own evaluation of who we think the playoff contenders should be. But that's to wait because we got conference championships to go. We got to talk about kind of a little bit of a look back of evaluation of where the Sooners got to at this point, how they got there. Let's talk about the positioning they're in and really focus in on these conference championship games, and of course the implications for where everybody falls in the playoff. So I don't know exactly where the best place to start is, but one thing I'd say I want to bring, because I don't want to forget it, Lucas made a good point for me to bring up on his behalf. He said, and he wanted me to emphasize, disappointed in the offense, but a factor in OU's performance has to be the strength of defenses we face. So here are the top defenses we faced and where they rank. And just notice how many are in this list in addition to the fact of where they rank. Bama, number 11. LSU, number 15. Michigan, 16. Missouri, 21. Texas, 23. Ole Miss, 26. Auburn, 32. South Carolina, 45. So our offense definitely left a lot to be desired. At the same time,
Was that 6 top 30s?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Top 30?
Oh, top 30? No, 6 top 30s.
That's
Very stout.
It's pretty crazy.
It's very crazy.
For a 10-2 team, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many teams are going to go 10-2 facing that with an upstart offense? It's not like we've got a veteran proven offense. We were starting from scratch. So I think that has to factor in. Gives me some confidence. And I'll say this, and this is a point that our podcast friend and sometimes guest Mike made. So with defense is something that you build over time. You can't just gimmick your way into defense, especially when you look at a multi-game session like the playoff. You either do or don't have a great, powerful shutdown defense. Offenses can flash in the pan for you and can get hot, can get schemed, can get gimmicky in ways that can get enough points to win games. And that's all we need right now. We just have to have enough points to win games. 21-24 probably gets it done against almost, if not everyone in the playoff field. So let's talk about all of that and what you guys dive in with what is on your mind as we look out at this championship weekend.
I think it's just it's such a weird kind of line of demarcation to draw between where we were kind of okay with what the offense was doing versus what we see now and what we've seen lately, and just nothing.
Yeah.
To an extent. So,
but it was 400 yards of nothing, which is so strange.
Right. And
against the top 16 defense in the country.
Yeah.
You don't normally put up 400 yards and be really bad at offense.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't
But we look really bad at offense.
2 of 3 ridiculous interceptions, how much better does it all look?
Yeah.
Statistically, we score, we're running away with it. They're probably going to fold up and go home.
At least 6 more points.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
at least.
You look back on that game, that's the first time in a while we've seen. I mean, John was forcing stuff. This just doesn't need to get forced. But it's just so strange to me. So, like, when you look at the landscape of the playoff, and you do have a large contingent, more than likely, of SEC teams there. So if you want to progress throughout the playoff, you could probably imagine you're going to face some of them either for the first time or again.
Mm-hmm.
However, you look at the other side of that. If you're playing non-SEC teams where you've seen our offense do decent things, and you really can only look at the Michigan game, right? It wasn't a stellar performance by any means against Michigan. However, it wasn't we didn't look stagnant, I
Mm-mm.
would say.
No.
I would say things looked a little bit more open, looked a little bit more comfortable. Um, Material looked a little bit more relaxed with what he was doing. So maybe just I guess, and it's just a take. But if you can go and navigate how to not play those SEC teams, are you going to be a little bit more better off? Because the fact that you're not playing these, week in, week out elite defenses, and I'm not saying Ohio State doesn't have an elite defense. They haven't played anybody, but they do. Not saying Indiana
Well, they
is
have a very good
at
defense.
I would say
Elite is pretty.
I would say our problem with that is looking at the bracket we might be in. It is a good Notre Dame defense,
Yeah,
and it is a really good Ohio State.
but I mean, and
So like
you look
we
at
would
the
be
top,
Ohio
unlucky.
State wins.
but you look at the top 12, and you get past the at-large bids, and we'll get into that later. Every defense is more than likely gonna be pretty decent, right? Like
Mhm.
you're not gonna really go through the playoffs unless you're one of those teams that gets to play a James Madison or,
Yeah,
or UNT or something.
2019 was the only team to win a national championship in the BCS era that had a defense worse than 40th.
The
And I-
BCS
2019
or
was
the
the
college
BCS.
football.
No, since the BCS era, since
Oh,
98 or
okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
So the only team to win, LSU, that
Mhm.
what?
that had a defense ranked, they were like 46th.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but look at that off.
Every other national championship team has had a defense in the top 40.
And I'll be honest, I mean, it was a very good team, a great offense. I don't know with those components if they make it through a 12-team playoff.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's going to be a challenge.
I mean,
They'd be
Joe
a
Burrow,
favor, but this is
Joe
going to be a
Burrow in
challenge.
that offense against us, at least, that was a near perfect game.
Right,
And again, you're going against an Alex Grinch defense,
right.
but what they did against Clemson as well, like
Uh-huh.
that was a game.
Yeah.
You're going to get tested through a 12 team another time at least, if you're that LSU team. So
We'd play them closer this year.
100%.
And in fact, that would be strength on strength. It
Yeah.
would be a pretty fun matchup to watch. That'd be a really good matchup. To
Well, and
watch.
I said it in the text that in response to kind of what Mike was saying in that is you could argue that the team that we have that's more than likely going to the playoff right now is a more viable national championship contending team than any of those Lincoln teams were. Set 2017,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
2017 being the argument, maybe because that Alabama team that we would have faced, I think we could have beat them.
Right.
But in terms of what we are capable of, and just scraping out wins and being able to do what it takes to win a game, this team seems a lot more capable of doing that than any of those.
Well, you
teams
have a
ever.
legitimate chance of keeping someone under 10 points.
Right.
And if you can do that,
Well, and
Well, at this
you can win
rate,
games.
at this rate, keep them under 17.
no, but I mean, but you could. We could play somebody that
Yeah.
we hold them to 6 points.
this defense is relatively as good as that offense. And our offense this year is about as good as that defense with a bigger ceiling, a higher ceiling. That we could reach that ceiling quickly
Absolutely.
if a few things click for us.
Definitely.
If Mateer just can do a couple of things, Arbuckle's calling the plays. The guys are
Guys are
open.
there.
Just connect. And it's
Stop
significantly
doing
better.
too much.
Yeah, stop doing too much. Just
Don't
do the
too
thing.
much.
Just do the thing.
Do what's easy.
Do the easy thing.
Like 4 yards on first down is not a bad thing.
Actually, you basically will never get beat if you get 4 yards
Exactly.
every
But
play.
we refuse, or
If you start with that,
with
that
us,
puts
it's
you in a
4
great
yards on
position.
second down. It's
Right.
4 yards on set. Like just go get 4 yards on second
Well,
down.
and what we're not accustomed to for such a long time is playing a field position game.
Right.
Our defense and special teams is good enough that
Mhm.
a few extra yards and you get a first down or two and then punt is not the end of the world.
No, not at all. And
Giving
it's
them
hard
the
to get your
football.
mind around that because it used to
Yeah.
be the end of the world.
It was, yeah. So, I mean, it used to be the worst thing that could
I
happen.
mean, that was the Army game, basically.
And
Yeah.
now it's honestly, if we get a first down or two and get to the 45
Flip
or so,
the field.
kick it and whatever, pin them deep,
Yeah.
which we've done a decent job of pinning them deep this year.
Mhm. And
And
coverage has been really good.
you just allow your defense to, hold them
Just work.
to a 3 and out,
Mm-hmm.
get a punt and a Satania with a 15, 20-yard return. And next thing you know, you're on their 40-yard line.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I'm a little bit frustrated with is as Chase Sandell has become this weapon, it seems that his ascension has actually caused us to start stalling out like at midfield or at the 45 of the opponent's side of the field where
So being
we
aggressive.
have this weapon. You don't have to get much past the midfield line to go and get points. Yet we hit the 50 and it's like we have no idea, like Mateer has no idea what to do with the ball.
Yeah.
So use the weapon you have.
But don't play for it.
Don't play for it. Go for a touchdown. But also, if it's there, like you need to know I'm 7 yards within field goal range right
keep
now.
in mind
We at least have
yeah,
to get there.
the defense has to understand, the opposing defense, that the field position's different with the Sandell. And so where they normally will tighten up and do something different from 30 in, they got to think about that from
30.
40 in. And so it should open up the field and give you some capabilities of doing some things, because the defense has to play it different, because every yard starts to really matter from further out than it does when a typical team is on the opposing offense. So I think that's a real good point. And just one more thing we need to take into consideration strategically.
We got some time to think about it.
We've had, some time, a total of what will be 3 weeks to get this thing together. You have 2 weeks to really plan, strategize, and 1 week to implement it.
You could get a whole lot better in that time frame.
A whole lot better, a whole lot healthier.
You can completely change your offensive game.
Well, I say you could, yeah. I mean, in a crazy fun scenario to think about, if you just were like, "Hey, Kevin,
Kevin Wilson, baby.
you got 3 weeks to put it in."
I need
So,
you. Yeah.
so no one would see it coming.
Just to throw everybody
They
else.
would have no idea what you're doing.
No.
It would take a genius to put together. AI would have to work here to twist the button.
Especially if you didn't change where they were on the field, where
Yeah.
they were in the booth.
Mm-mm.
You wouldn't know who was really. You wouldn't know he was calling the plays.
No. And so it'd take an AI to look down and remember, wait a second, that's Kevin Wilson's stuff. And by then it's too late in that game. And it might be too late for anyone else. And heck, we could always flip it back to the
Yeah,
other.
but what if the yeah?
I'm sure.
I got it went the wrong way. Sorry.
That would be interesting if you
Mhm.
had two coordinators and you didn't know what they were coming out in this half. I don't know if your players could keep up with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like at that point, though, are we crazy to think that Kevin hasn't had a large voice in what we're doing? And we keep talking about coordinators and everything else.
It's really still material.
It's really material.
It's material,
right? Like
yeah.
it's just material at this point. So it's just like, what's the quarterback coach's name?
We haven't talked
It's
about
like
it.
a K,
Yeah.
starts with a K. It's
Yeah.
something weird. It's like the Eastern European name. Coach Kuz, I think they call him,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
yeah, Kuzi,
like, if it's not,
Kuziaski or something.
yeah, Krzyzewski or something like that, Mike Krzyzewski. If it's not him, Mateer, and Arbuckle in a room, just being like picking the game apart,
Yeah.
for 3 weeks and just saying, look, like
and
Mike again brings it up, and Mike is apparently he needs to be
Evaluated.
Yeah.
because the guy watches the game 9 times in 4 days. Which shout out, it's not an insult. If it's just, hey, stop looking deep, you have Kanik here every time, and until they start covering it,
Right.
you're going to throw to Kanik.
Well,
That's your first read.
That could be your gimmick. Look at this. Throw to Cannon.
It's what Alabama did to us.
Yeah.
Alabama
With the tight
said,
end.
if we're not gonna beat OU down the field, our tight end is running free every play, and they gashed us. We just got lucky and stopped them a few times.
Well, I think we got good.
Not lucky, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
and we kept it in front of us.
Right.
But I mean, if you get it far enough, we're talented enough. I mean, we saw it with. I mean, we drew that defense.
Can you
in
believe
on
he
that
doesn't have a
Pennsylvania
touchdown?
pass. I cannot believe it. I
It's
thought about that.
nuts.
The way he started off,
It's nuts.
it is.
I'm sure
crazy.
he's dying for.
Well, he should. He should have a bunch.
How's he supposed to win the Heisman for
You
me?
gotta throw the ball to the
Score a
man.
touchdown.
Had he thrown the ball, he would have won the Heisman and had bunches of
He
touchdowns.
dropped one touchdown.
He did.
It was a hard
He
catch.
did. It was a hard catch.
But
But
that
it
was
did
the only time he's really even been kind of close.
targeted. Yeah. So, I'm with you a bit about get him in a room and let's break it down. I think you need the quarterback whisperer. I think you need to say, and they allude to it on the scoop, talking about the guy has got some mental shortcomings in terms of self-esteem, where he gets too down on himself. And you just got to say, like, what are you seeing right here? Let's walk through this very methodically in slow motion, what are you thinking? What are you seeing? And just say, look, buddy, this is all you have to see. This is all you have to do.
Stop
You
carrying
can
everything
do
by
it.
yourself.
Yeah,
And that's what
exactly.
he's
He's got
just
hero
carrying-
ball
he's
on his
carrying it
shoulders.
shoulders. And
Yeah.
like, there's a weird kind of parallel I saw. I agree with you completely. Like, call the quarterback whisperer. There was a guy, I was watching the Netflix series with the starting five, like an NBA thing with Tyrese Halliburton, and he was just like completely out of confidence. Like not taking shots he should take that he makes, passing the ball he shouldn't pass, or just doing a bunch of stuff. Calls a guy in, and the guy was just like, "You're just being an idiot. Stop being an idiot and be an asshole. Like, just go and
Just go
do
get
what
it.
you want to do.
Be the man.
And just be like, you don't, to be the guy, you do not have to carry everything
No.
on your shoulders. That's what everyone else is out here to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So, and Kanik is the obvious example here. He's the guy that's always open. He's the guy that we've seen Mateer roll out. Kanik is jumping for the ball, and it's never thrown to him. And if it is, it's too late and it's behind him, or
Right.
and it's a risky pass. So take what they're giving you.
I think
We've said that
sometimes
from
he
the
just-
beginning.
yeah.
Just take what they're
I
giving you.
think he just needs to let go of the ball.
Yeah.
Because I think he's seeing people open.
Yeah.
And he's hesitating,
Yeah.
looking for something better.
Right.
When it's just like, that's good enough.
That's good enough. Just good.
6
good
yards is
enough.
good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough is extremely successful
Yeah.
in this offense with this team. That's complementary football. Just good enough on offense is a really nice compliment to our defense.
I mean, you look at that last drive and like those two catches Kanik had, and I love the one to the west sideline where he just takes it and he's sitting down on a route, sits down on a route, curls around and goes and gets like six
Yeah.
more yards.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Like the dude is athletic.
Yeah.
And we have athletes all over the field. Like it's not just him. So
If they have to start worrying about athletes all over the field, a lot of more stuff starts opening
Yeah,
up as well.
exactly.
A lot of stuff.
show
Well,
we have it.
So let's transition a little bit to the playoff talk and some speculation and some argument, a little bit of frustration with the process and the rules and where we are
How bad it is.
and how bad it is. Let's start with how good it could be. And let's assume that OU faces and hosts Notre Dame in Norman here on the first weekend. And the question I want to pose to you, that's the biggest game in Norman since when, would you say?
2000 Nebraska.
I mean, technically, you could argue ever.
No, you could technically argue ever. You could technically argue ever. It's a national championship
Yeah.
leading game.
It's a playoff game. It's historic.
It's historic,
Um,
super
I'm
historic.
split between 2000 Nebraska and the cliche.
Now, there's
debate, Texas Tech.
probably
It's way bigger than Tech.
there's
Think
I'll just check it down.
probably
Yeah.
games
Way bigger.
from before my time, late in the season.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
basically you win this game and you're going to go to the Orange Bowl and play for national championship.
So, do you have a different answer than
No,
mine?
I'm just saying that's probably
I
happened
think it is
few
something
times.
from before that your time or before that. So we were discussing this at work, and I came up with the game of the century. And then my friend John corrected with the 1985 OU Nebraska game. So the game of the century is 71 OU versus Nebraska. And his point is well taken because we said since when. In 1985, it was number 2 Nebraska against number 4 Oklahoma. Winner goes to the Orange Bowl to play for the national championship, all things considered, even though they were going to be playing Penn State and Miami would need to lose.
So it was
which
late in
they
the season.
did. Late in the season. It was after
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
weekend.
Yeah. And so that to me is the biggest. It's bigger than OU Nebraska in 2000 because that was no guarantee. That wasn't a
Mid-season.
It wasn't a playoff game. That it's a de facto playoff game for the championship of the Big 12 in 85.
Yeah,
just
and
like it
you
was
do
in
have to
71.
you do have to split hype versus meaningfulness.
Right.
Right.
A lot of stuff had to happen still for that to be the season it was going to be for OU or Nebraska in 2000. It was all done. And the next stop is Miami in that case. In 71, very similarly, and really different because those two teams were by far the best two teams in the nation, led the nation in every stat that mattered at the time. They'd be all rushing offensively, just breaking records left and right. If OU doesn't hold the record, it's because Nebraska did that season. OU was second or first in
And vice
every
versa.
category. And those were, I'm not saying for the season, I'm saying for the history of football before that. And it was 1 versus 2. And it was just predetermined. The team who won that game was going to win the national championship. So it's big like that because it's a playoff, because it's the end of the season, and because it's the name OU and the name
It's the helmets.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The helmets are
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
helmets
and
are
that,
incredible.
and that's what I'm itching for it. I think everyone probably nationally, like even if you're not saying it out loud, is probably wanting something like that.
Now, an OU Miami would also be really big.
OU Miami would be awesome.
Hmm.
But the way that the committee has set the rankings, and again, it doesn't affect us, right? If Bama loses,
Let's get into that then. Yeah. What are the scenarios?
So if Bama loses, and let's just play out everyone expected in front of us wins. So it's really Bama and Texas. It's the SEC and the Big 12 championship, I'd say, are the biggest factors.
They're the
So if it stays status quo,
yeah.
Those
If we stay at 8, which would mean that Bama lost, and assumedly BYU lost.
Yep.
Notre Dame would also assumedly jump back up to number 9, and we would host them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anybody
likely.
who's saying that the committee, once it happens, if Bama loses and Notre Dame and Miami are back to back at 9 or next to each other in the rankings, anybody who says that Miami will jump Notre Dame, I think is crazy.
Yeah,
I think
not at this point.
The committee at this point will stand on their laurels and say, we've ranked them this way and we've ranked Miami behind them. You guys did not play this weekend and nothing else has affected that. You were going to stay where you're at.
And you're in a conference so weak that the conference championship is a 7-5 Duke team.
Okay,
you're not even in conference.
Yeah, and you're not even in it against Virginia.
What if did Miami beat Duke or Virginia?
Well, they would have to beat one of them, I assume.
Look it up. I don't know.
So my thought here is, what if they get credit for that, for beating an ACC champion?
Well, they could. They very well could.
That could bump them.
It is possible that they would do it. I'm with Connor that it would be now. It's not unprecedented for this committee and the history of this committee with different people on it to do stuff that's inconsistent and stupid and illogical and without substantiation, or to contradict things they've done up to that point. But it would be a big contradiction for what they've done up to this point in terms of where they position these teams. I totally agree with Miami fans that it is a joke that Notre Dame is in front of them, given that how close they are record-wise and everything else, and the fact that Miami beat them head-to-head.
Miami played neither Duke or Virginia.
That's exactly what I thought, yeah.
Virginia beat Duke in the regular season.
So I could see the committee for sure manipulating it to not have rematches in the first round.
Correct.
And that might include move Oklahoma up.
And hopefully not have conference foes.
Yeah.
Right.
You may be unavoidable though. You let enough teams in.
There's probably one game that's unavoidable.
I think it was
one matchup.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. Like I got a bunch of texts like, "OU Alabama, what?" I'm like, "You guys are crazy. Like, that won't hold no matter what.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
It's real hard for that to happen.
Yeah, it would be very difficult. And if it happens, it means that Alabama's hosting OU again.
Well, maybe not. It could be that OU goes to 7 and Alabama goes to 10.
Yeah, which would be
it
unbelievable.
It would be.
Is there any way to have to play Bama in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, if they flip us.
Because first of all, it'd be crazy because that's never happened for anyone ever.
Yeah, it'd be the first time ever.
And if you actually went in and did it, it's like
oh, you hang a banner.
Yeah.
You hang a banner.
You just don't go into
not a national championship banner. It's you beat Bama twice in Tuscaloosa.
You hang it in Bryant-Denny.
You
tell them this is going up.
Yeah, it's just an OU helmet with 2025.
Don't you dare try to take it out.
Because as ridiculous as it is to go in there and beat them anyways, if you did it twice
in the span of a month and a half.
Okay, a quick diversion then. If we could, and we guaranteed the win, would you rather have that than a guaranteed win against Notre Dame at home?
No. A win against Notre Dame at home after what we had in 2012 with getting beat.
Yeah,
it would be.
Well, after the season,
it would feel so awesome.
Special.
It'd be so great.
It'd be hard to pass that up, but man, that would be pretty cool to claim that.
Either one's fine.
Either one's pretty amazing.
Maybe I'm selfish. I want to just see the game.
I want to be there and see it.
I'm not going. So
that's too far.
I can't even think of another matchup pitting two helmets together.
That's what I want. That's what
it's
everyone
awesome.
That's playoff glory. I mean,
it's absolutely the premier possible matchup.
And I think it'll be a slobber knocker. Like I think it's going to be just
Good old fashioned football.
yes.
Downhead,
Well, their strength is rushing. Our defensive strength
They have
among all of
best
them is
running back in the
rushing.
country, probably.
Yeah, right up there.
and guess what we've done with good running backs?
Yes.
We've shut them
So I
down.
mean, it's just and
So
I guess he'll be back. It's nuts.
yeah, baby. So here's something I want to talk about. Make sure we don't forget about this. The absurdity of moving Ole Miss up in the rankings.
It's
That
embarrassing.
the only thing I can say to that is they're just doing that because they had to, because of future positioning of what they're gonna do. But that is ridiculous.
It's throwing a aluminum tinfoil blanket over someone who's just been in the freezing cold for a few days, saying, "I am so sorry for what happened to you. Here you go, and here's a nice hot cup of coffee." It's a joke, and again, I guess you just don't go off of precedents that are set in prior years. Because I mean, we ran a poll.
Yeah.
You ran a good poll around what you think OU should be ranked going into the week this week. And the options were greater than 6,
Or less than 6.
less than 6,
6,
6,
7.
7, 8,
No. 8.
8,
Greater
greater
than
than 8. And I for one, so here's my opinion. I don't agree with moving them up at all. I think it is absurd. That for what they did in the Egg Bowl, I mean, what is that? It's almost the equivalent of what Alabama did against Auburn, of almost losing and still moving up.
Right.
I mean, it's odd to me, but on top of that, I I just do not understand the fact that you hemorrhage your coaching staff.
Yeah.
You hemorrhage. I mean,
That's
it
more
is going to
important
have
than a quarterback.
It's much more important. It's much more important, and it's just no worries. Go ahead. It's just very strange to me.
It's
I don't
ridiculous to
understand.
me.
And it was the same thing with moving Texas Tech above Oregon. I really didn't understand that either. And that felt a little bit like future positioning to me as
Right.
well.
Right.
It was a hedging of if Texas Tech loses the Big 12 championship,
Where are we gonna
have
put
we will have an argument to keep both of those teams in
Which is stupid.
and knock one of the 5 SEC teams out.
Yeah.
I do. Everyone gives the committee a hard time, and it probably is harder than we think it is. When you really,
I'm really good.
It's not.
They're idiots.
It's not. It's not that
They are
hard.
stupid.
Okay, but do you think? Okay. I guess I'll play just for argument's sake.
I mean, if you had half a brain,
I think OU is probably ranked pretty
Looks to be good
correctly,
today.
right? I think they're ranked pretty correctly,
yeah, it's not bad.
right?
I'd say so.
But not when you just put in the metrics.
Right.
You put in the metrics. I don't care if a team has 1 loss, and you have 2.
Exactly. Look at A&M's 1 loss
Yeah.
and look at their wins. Not that strong a resume.
From resume standings, we should be ahead of A&M
Well,
Yeah.
and ahead of Oregon,
it's
Yeah.
the same argument that all these teams that are on the outside
and maybe
looking
even
in-
Indiana. I mean,
Yes.
we could be ranked number 2 right now.
Right.
Technically,
Right.
we've got 2 really good losses,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got several really good wins. And everyone agreed preseason and during the season, the schedule's ridiculous.
Well, and look at our
It-
losses.
It's not comparable.
Look at our losses.
It's not comparable to Indiana.
As we soak up and drink the sweet nectar of the tears of the Texas fans, the fact is they are a good team who got better throughout the year, and they're a much better team than who faced Ohio State in game 1.
Yeah.
So we lost to them.
And it was 14-7.
So they're a team that, by all rights, should have some bubble playoff implications, but we live in this world we're going to talk about in a minute of charity. But so they're out, but they're good enough. They could be in there. Ole Miss is so good that they moved them up after they lost their coaching staff. Those are our 2 losses.
and beat Mississippi State.
So that sounds pretty damn strong to me. That's a great resume with everything else as a win, including really tough wins. I mean, A&M's best win ranks where compared to OU's best win?
Oh.
Right?
Notre Dame.
That's it.
It ranks.
And
So it's even.
So that's even,
But
and
they don't have
everything
the
else
others.
falls off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
Everything
it's
else
even.
falls off. Yeah, I don't know if it's
I
even
wouldn't say it's
because
even.
we don't know about Notre Dame. But even if it's even, that's one that's even, and all the others are
Yeah.
way behind.
Because who's our best one? Bama. Bama's our best one.
Yes, at Bama. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And
arguably, if they win the SEC title, it's the best win in the nation,
in the country.
maybe by a margin.
Yeah.
Better than Ohio State beating Indiana or Indiana beating Ohio State because we don't know about those teams.
Yeah. We don't know about the Big Ten in general.
Mm-hmm. No, we don't.
Outside of the fact that we're saying that Michigan's
Michigan's a really good win, guys. They were a contender all the way down the stretch. It's a good
they
win.
were.
They're one of the top 3-4 teams in the Big
They
Ten.
had a chance
A
to get in the
top-heavy
conference title game.
Yeah,
last week of the
absolutely.
season.
So
I just know it's hard, and I know I texted it the other day. It's really hard for me to like. We live in this such weird, just subjective era of college football where some people will say a good win is a good win, but some people weigh good losses more than they weigh bad wins. And I just don't like
that's
at the end of-
people that are
at
not
the
good
end
at
of the
math.
day, at the end of the day, a win is a win.
Yeah.
And it should be chalked up if it's 100-0 or if it's 17-16. It's the
I mean, I
Well,
have
not the same,
it's
but
not the same,
but they're both
but
wins.
they're weighted the same. They should be maybe not weighted the same. They should be treated similarly though.
I have
because you win,
coworkers
you win a game.
who look at the Florida State loss for Alabama
It's so bad.
and
It
make
is so bad.
but that carries so much weight with them that they don't think Alabama's any good.
Right. They can't get past
They
it.
can't get past that. Like that loss, opening game, they got
And the same logic.
shell shocked, right?
Yeah, right.
Florida State, they did the whole thing where they spent the whole freaking summer getting ready for it. You didn't know the new quarterback coming in, and Malzahn had just come in, and all this stuff, and they hit him. They hit him right in the mouth and caught him off guard. But still, people look at that
And they play-
can't get over it. People don't think Bama's any good.
And if they played 11 more times, Bama wins 11 more times.
But I don't know if it's even. But isn't an argument of them being very good versus go and win the game that you have in front of you? Because you could the Florida State loss that Bama has is similar to the Florida loss that Texas is, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Early in the season, very like teams that you don't. And I guess we kind of knew what Florida was at that point. Like Florida had kind of shown their cards.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be
we thought
that good.
we thought the firing would have come by then.
So
and then he wins that game.
and then he wins the game. But I mean, I don't know if it's again the game itself has to count for something. Like I'm not saying you.
No,
I'm
no,
not
it
saying. I'm not
definitely
saying.
does.
I'm not saying you have to say it's like the end all be all of. Bama lost to Florida State. Bama's not good. It's not that, but it does have some sort of weighted, and maybe it's getting treated correctly.
Well, you got. I think it's probably getting treated correctly. You got to weight it. The problem is when people want to look at something that was a good loss, like maybe a Texas, Ohio State, or whatever, and they want to give that a lot of credit, like that matters. Like you got to get your mind out of the gutter of thinking, oh boy, let's look how good the losses were.
Is it, yeah.
What are we doing? That's a
the
hair
amount of
splitting.
credit. The amount of
Yeah,
credit that
quit
people
giving
get
credit for that.
Yeah,
is
That's
crazy.
hair splitting at the end.
Yeah.
I get it that's a separator when you've got two things that are otherwise equal, but you got to get through all the winning metrics before you get to the loser.
Right.
yeah. You don't move to the losses until you've got two teams equal in the wins.
And the other thing would be head to head. So what are the quality losses and what is the head to head?
Mario Cristobal came out and just slaughtered Steve Sarkisian
Yeah.
and his criticism, saying the one common opponent we had, from what I can see, Texas lost in a not great way, and then we went and
Oh,
kind
Texas needs to get over them.
of handled Florida.
Beat
So it's
Florida.
like,
If
yeah.
you want to be in, beat Florida.
Beat Florida.
It's over. I'm
Exactly.
sorry. I know you're a very good football team. I know that you beat the eventual national champion Oklahoma Sooners, but listen, you didn't beat Florida. You didn't do enough. You didn't get into the playoff.
And no one from Texas talks about they should have lost Mississippi State. I know
Right.
should have, would have.
Should have lost to Kentucky. Could have lost to Vanderbilt.
No, but really though,
Should have lost to
the
Mississippi
Mississippi State
State
game was
no,
a
in
miracle
Kentucky.
comeback.
In Kentucky, if Mark Stoops just runs the ball there, they're down at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, Mark Stoops.
That was so
fireball.
awful. Yeah, right there and then and there. And it gets cold. Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah,
we get cold.
Stark's lucky that
He's
he's
safe.
only dealing with,
It's only my
complaining
right.
about his third loss versus, Texas being 7-5.
7-5, legit.
Preseason number one
Yeah.
and being 7-5.
Yeah.
Which was what they should be.
Right.
Well, yeah, and again, like Steve said, like cry me a river. Like and Mike said it as well in the text group. Like if you would have told me that losing to Texas would have meant that we were in the playoff and we get to hear Texas fans bitch and moan for a month about not getting in, it may have been tough for me to say, I'm not going to take that.
See, I came into this season with that kind of mindset, and I mentioned it several different times, but it's NFL like, where
Yeah.
you just gotta go week to week, get over it.
You were so right. You
You just gotta get over it. I hate losing
keep moving.
Texas. Gotta get over.
Got to
it.
get over and keep moving.
Because
Yep.
it used to be everything.
Well, we did.
You can't be
That's what's so
the
great.
Bears who get obsessed about and then lose to the Packers and just you're done. You got to keep moving. You got to just keep moving and build on something stronger.
And throw punches. We
And
freaking hard.
and it worked.
Yeah,
this year
it did work
because I don't even care that we lost to Texas.
Well, this
because we're in the playoffs.
Well,
I mean, say I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care.
I care, but at the same time, it's at the
I don't
same time, it from what we did in response to that, and in response, I think honestly,
say what it feels
more importantly to the Ole Miss game, responding after that game,
right,
and doing what we did in the month of November is unbelievable.
Here's what the OU Texas game is this year. It's 2018.
Correct.
Where in that game we redeemed ourselves, got into the playoffs, and we put it behind us. Now
2015.
we didn't get to redeem ourselves by winning. Or it's 2008.
The other part with Texas,
and then we get into the national.
The other part with the Texas game this year, we knew it was going to be almost impossible to win that football game,
right?
With in the intra quarter,
right?
It just didn't. I don't know why it just didn't matter to me.
We were pretty damn confident. I was pretty damn confident.
I was confident we'd have a better showing.
A better showing.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
But in general,
I'm disappointed in the show.
But how bad did he play? He played like he did the other night.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But our defense did not play as well.
And it's the one time on special teams we had any laps the entire season.
Well, and our defense was not.
And the officials helped us with that laps.
Our defense was not great against Texas.
It wasn't bad though. I mean, they weren't going up or down football.
No, but they weren't. I mean,
they weren't where
they weren't run stopping. I mean, everything Texas had was falling forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was.
They weren't getting to Manning. They weren't forcing him into difficult situations.
It was 2 or 3 yards on a run.
It was the worst, probably secondary play.
It was just not a good. It was not a good showing.
It was the only. There are two things happened in that game.
Could be okay with saying
that hadn't happened all season. One was the only major special teams lapse of the season. And two,
there were 5 blocking the backs.
And 2, it's the only bust I can think of. A true bust.
Yeah.
Right there at the end.
That was it.
Yeah.
And subsequently, that player has been not playing since.
Go Dolby, yeah. So let's talk about people who shouldn't be playing, and that's who shouldn't be playing in the playoff, and that would be the charity teams. So we've got 2 charity teams that will be entering the playoff this year. None of the teams that I'm going to talk about are in the top 15, but one of these teams is going to get there. Well, 2 of these teams. The winner of Tulane versus North Texas will be in the playoff, and potentially the winner of Virginia Duke will be in the playoff unless Duke wins, and then maybe James Madison's there.
You're talking about 4 teams.
And come at me in the comments because I will die on this hill that I wouldn't want to play Tulane, North Texas, or James Madison.
Wrong.
So comment away, people. Comment away.
I'm not saying I'd want to. I would play them. It wouldn't be out of glad terms. I'd rather.
Do you think they're better than Notre Dame?
We do not. We need to rehash this.
50 out of 50 times, no. Could they be for the biggest game in the history of the program? Maybe.
Okay, maybe. So
and
I give you that,
and our own human psychological factor of
maybe
your guys are going to watch film and they're smaller, slower. Everything about them, and you just don't bring it.
How much do we have to worry about that with this team? Because this team, I feel like
I think no matter what your team is, you have to worry about that because it's
okay. I'm not saying you
human nature.
I'm not saying you don't have to worry about it. How much do we actually worry about it with the team? I mean, I've went back and listened to the podcast where we kind of argue.
Maybe not,
and I was more on your side.
It's maybe not our team, only because we're hungry because we haven't been there for a while. Right. We've had some down years. But if my team was a perennial playoff team or something, that game would scare the crap out.
It'd be like a 14 and 3 seed in this tournament.
Do you not think we took not that far apart?
Do you not think we took Boise? Do you not think we took Boise?
It's a 7-10
for granted.
Yes,
we did.
That wasn't for a national championship.
It wasn't.
It was
But
still
go-
a big important
And
game.
we weren't that good. Go back to your point, because then I want to make a point about this. You say you still think you agree with them.
I still think I agree with him. But I agree selfishly out of the fact that I want to see the Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's just what you.
I guess my
But-
fear is
in terms-
I don't want to lose that game.
in terms of
I agree.
We'll hear about it for 30 years.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it'll
in
be the
terms-
next Boise State.
it'd be worse. In terms of probable victories, though, give me any one of those four teams.
So that's what I'm looking at for
and I'll
big
probably
victories
be,
now.
I'll probably
So here's
be
my-
happy.
I'll give you something, and that is we're not talking about Prairie View A&M, who is not good enough to out recruit anybody but Penn State. So we are talking about someone who is a conference champion, is a team that was able to win 11, 12 games.
I mean, if it's JMU, it's 12-1.
I mean,
they won
Tulane's-
12 games and lost.
So-
Tulane's got good
Yeah,
good
yeah,
players.
that's what I'm giving you that. They've got good players and they were able to win that. So it's not the separation between Notre Dame and this theoretical of those group is not that deep, which you have to throw Virginia into that group too. I'm thinking,
Yeah, Virginia.
right? So the difference is, okay, they're pretty close. And if they get up for one game, that could be something and we could overlook them. But at the same time, there is that gap. And there is the fact that Notre Dame is better at football than these others and takes it more seriously, has more realistic options, is not going to get caught in the lights of we got to the playoff. They've been in the playoff. They've been to the national championship just last year. They've got their sights on a lot of stuff. So that counts for something too.
I think what worries me too is I think you go out of your way and do unconventional things when you're those teams.
Sure.
And that's
That's
literally
difficult.
the only thing that could hurt our defense
That's
is
true.
them doing absolutely ridiculous
But
things. on offense,
here's my counter, though.
which is what Boise did.
Here's my counter. And let's just use two teams. Let's use Tulane and North Texas.
They'll go for it on every
but
fourth down.
listen,
You know,
if you see
they're just
Tulane and North Texas as one of your first three non-conference games in the season,
You don't worry.
you do not worry. And I'm not going to. And if you don't, that's a game that you worry
Strong.
more about.
I bet the coaches worry.
But yeah, well, I'm sure. But that's a game you worry more about in the first
And I
three
bet the
games about your
coaches-
team getting up.
But
than
they
you
don't
feel
look
about
at
your
it.
team
They
being
don't look at it and
up.
say,
And
I'm glad we're playing Notre
But I
Dame
bet they
and
spend
not North
endless
Texas.
amount of hours convincing their team to show up
But
to
you don't
play.
think that would be tenfold for a playoff game? Because it would be.
Like I said, only because we haven't been there.
I know, but
Anyone would.
but
Anyone would.
like I said, if you
How did those teams do last year? How did the group of five team do last year?
whack,
Got the brakes beat off.
whack, the Boise State got a freaking bye and
Yeah.
they got murdered.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming.
It's not worth it.
Completely
It's
understand
what I'm
it.
saying. It's not worth it.
But
Well-
like I said, if I see those at the front half of my schedule, I'm like,
That's
Yeah,
a strong
that's-
point. I hadn't
that's-
thought of that. That's a strong point.
win.
So
Now I have to go to Ann Arbor and play Michigan.
here's the stronger point.
You're equally as excited to have a Michigan because you spend all summer getting
But
your team
it's-
freaking ready for
But
Michigan.
to C's point, and like what I'm saying, and maybe that's where I'm kind of starting to lean.
But you're worried
away,
more about Michigan.
I'm excited about the matchup.
But you got your
for-
team focused because it's Michigan.
Yeah,
But you didn't doubt you were going to win against North Texas.
right.
If we had gotten beat by Michigan, you'd say, well, that sucks, but we got beat by Michigan. If North Texas was number 2 on our schedule and we got beat by them, one of the four of us would be just like he is here, not here.
Yeah.
Because he'd be on a ledge somewhere.
Yeah. No, he'd be awful.
Yeah.
We'd be at a funeral tomorrow.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I think that relates to the bigger point, which is they don't deserve to be in
They
this
don't deserve
thing.
to be there.
They shouldn't be there. This is a joke. We did a good job and it surprised me, impressed me. I was happy to see the fact that they rectified one of the major shortcomings of all of this last year when they realized that this automatic buy for the conference champions was BS and they got rid of it. Take the next logical step and get rid of the automatic bids. Get rid of the idea that you just deserve to be in the championship. You're one of the top 12 because you won your conference. You're the 4th highest ranked conference champion. What does that even possibly mean?
Well,
That's made up.
And if you're North Texas and you want to say, well, if we're not going to get in at large, every single one of our conference games is going to be against an SEC or Big Ten opponent. And we're going to go and try to win those games to prove our validity of being in the playoff. By all means, all power to you. If you go win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 of those games and then run your schedule, I'll give you an argument to be in the top 12.
Sure.
But if you're not doing that, which they're not, and they won't, then you don't deserve to be in the conversation.
No.
At all.
I mean, I know
I'd be
that
pissed if I was Miami. I'd be
they
pissed if I
should be
I'd be
pissed.
pissed if I was
Texas.
Texas. I'd be mad if I was any of these 11 through 15 teams
Mhm.
that are like crap. Like, I mean,
What do I got to do?
we have a shot if something goes our way this weekend.
Well, it risks being very negative for the implications and scheduling and everything else you do.
We're already seeing it.
Because you have to start really second guessing, especially if you play in a conference like the SEC and to a lesser extent the Big Ten. What are we doing here by scheduling anybody but the weakest of the weak?
Yep.
Why would we bother?
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that's already a problem that didn't get rectified yet. That
It may take a super league to do that.
And like I was saying, that OU is still behind one loss teams where
We're better.
What we did on the field, metric wise, we should be ahead of them. It still just matters what your loss column says. It doesn't
Right.
even freaking matter hardly.
And I think it should to some degree.
As long as you're in
but
a big conference and you just have the one loss. We're in the same conference as A&M. And our schedules are miles apart.
Yeah.
But they have one loss.
But go look at
They have one loss though, so they're ahead of us.
Go look at number 4 Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Who's their best win? Against
BYU?
BYU? Huh?
Yeah,
BYU.
which is so circular
Who did
reasoning.
who did they lose to? Arizona State, who is on the fringe of the top 25. So, and that's again, and as we continue to move towards the conversation more and more, and we keep having it, the Super League and the Super Conference or conferences is really the only answer, unless these non-Power 5 schools want to commit to playing out of these two conferences.
Well, we may get the de facto Super League, even with 135 teams staying together, if we get to a playoff that is logically determined of just let's look for the 12 best. And then you start to say, well, to get to that 12 best, what you have to do is you have to earn it by scheduling and winning.
Right.
Because then you're going to say those teams like you're talking about don't have a shot
Strength
even
of
at
schedule.
12-0 because strength of
I
schedule.
mean, I get it that A&M.
They'll have to be like Notre Dame was back in the day when they scheduled a really good schedule, top to bottom, even though they were independent. They
It's out of A&M's control, right? They played their SEC schedule. It happened to be the bottom half of the entire SEC, and
Except for the one team they played that beat them.
Right? They beat Notre Dame.
Well, I was going to say
so.
Texas.
They did play a hard, big name non-conference opponent, and they won that game, and they lost a rivalry.
Right.
So
that's the formula.
But it's not.
You don't get to do it in
their fault, but the one loss, you don't have to keep ones above twos and twos above threes. It doesn't have to be that way.
No,
because it's all not on the same level.
Exactly. And that's the point of a committee is to see through that.
But it's all
to look to truth.
But that's what they do. They got the zeros here.
Yep.
They got the ones.
Yep.
And then the twos are next. Yep. And then the threes.
They're too susceptible to the whims of the public. And yet, by doing that, they open themselves up to all this criticism.
Yeah.
And they should. It's like it's the worst of both worlds. They're trying to serve two masters and doing poor job at both of them.
We essentially played as hard of a schedule as you can have.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
We're still punished for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Despite winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that to be very problematic. So look at the scenarios a little bit. Let's talk about that briefly.
We've scheduled Michigan, Clemson, and Washington.
There you go.
As our non-con.
Right.
To add to our SEC schedule.
Right.
And we had one more loss.
Yeah. Oh, that we'd be totally out.
Totally out. Yeah. And you could go back in the history of college football.
No
one's
ever played that.
Ever played this.
Right.
Not only is it not just the wins and losses of your schedule, you're talking about the wear and tear of every single week playing real football teams.
But that's why you have to
over and over and over and over.
You have to objectify some of it to an extent with cross conference or cross division matchups where you have some like equality with those matchups.
Yeah, and you're gonna have some are up and some are down year to year and different.
Because if you don't standardize,
it's the only thing you can do.
If you don't standardize, and maybe the ADs are going to move towards that with not scheduling these big games, but if you don't standardize what you're doing out of conference to make it equal per se, you're never going to get the benefit.
Well, I think what they may do, and then you're already seeing glimpses of this, is we will get better scheduling in conference with the new lineups because they're doing some some thoughtfulness to say, well, every team is going to have rivalries and they're going to have meaningful matchups, and then they're going to have somebody who's not supposed to be so good.
But that's what
And
they
that's
call
going
a
to,
conference.
it's going to, well, I know, but that's going to equal fight. So you won't get the Texas A&M effect going forward, not to this disparity, unless it's just a really weird,
Just
bad luck,
yeah,
good
just-
luck
yeah.
situation. But you still have to think about
And the
what
Big
are the
Ten does the
implications for
opposite.
the non-conference.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Big
is
Ten does the other.
you-
They go
you-
the other way.
You
Absolutely.
need to standardize
And they need to
it.
punish
You
things.
need to punish the Big Ten for doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No.
Like they're just letting it happen.
Yep, totally.
And it's
letting it happen.
okay that,
Well,
that you guys
and maybe
have
they
set
wouldn't
the
want
schedule
to
up this way.
if Indiana loses to Michigan. Who was it? Michigan State that they almost lost to?
Yes.
So if they lose to Michigan
No,
State,
Penn State.
Yep,
Penn State.
Penn State,
Terrible Penn State.
they plummet, and rightfully so. But it shouldn't depend on that. It shouldn't depend on what is really an upset, a fluky game.
There's a
to
crazy
get there.
There's a crazy world. Unlikely, but a small chance. You can have three Ten teams in the top four getting a bye.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. With Oregon sneaking in. Now I do think here's something.
Because they
Let's
could
talk
they
about
could drop
scenarios.
Indiana to 4.
If Tech loses and Bama wins.
Yeah. Yep.
If Tech loses, Bama wins, and then whatever the outcome is,
Yeah.
you could see
Yeah.
three. You could see three Big Ten.
Now I think that
It won't.
if Ohio State
It won't.
drills Indiana, Indiana's going to fall out of the top four. If Indiana beats, I don't think they can drill them. Even if they beat them really bad, I don't think Ohio State can fall out of the top four. And I'm not saying that's rightful. I'm just saying that's the way I think it's probably going to be. Which introduces, does that make it a game that's more meaningful for Indiana? And when at the margin, does Ohio State not show something that they would otherwise want to save? Whereas Indiana knows it's all on the line.
So Ohio State knows they're in.
They know they're in
For a bye.
for a bye.
Should've said
Indiana doesn't. And so Indiana, and that's my only explanation as to why the line is as close as it is.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think Ohio State's better than Indiana, even though the metrics don't line up that way. I just think that I got it. You got to prove it to me, Indiana, before I'm really going to believe it. So I think that may be a headwind for Ohio State in this championship. You've got Georgia, who is really got a lot to play for. Alabama's got a lot to play for, but they're not probably out of it unless they just got destroyed by Georgia.
How could Georgia fall behind us?
I
Georgia
don't
could.
know.
If Alabama won really big,
If they win,
we'd have the number one win in the country, and you look at the head-to-head, and so you'd say, well, we're going to put Alabama, then Oklahoma, and Georgia has to fall behind them. That would mean they'd have to move Mississippi backwards, which should happen, but they moved them up, so I don't know how.
I just don't.
Probably
see,
means that Tech has to move down, and BYU needs to beat them for that to happen.
I don't see how.
Even
I don't see how
Bama moving
Georgia-
ahead of us.
I don't see how Georgia
It's stupid.
moves behind us. It's not. It's
Even
in the
with a
conference.
win.
I don't.
I
agree
could see it with a win. I could see it with a win
With a
if it's a
win,
decisive win,
Yeah.
but only by a little. I could see them
No,
jumping.
You're playing a top 5 team. I don't care if it's by 3 points. Like and I'm just taking into consideration
so
the
if they-
stuff that they're in.
If
right
they
now.
jumped Bama to 4,
there's
No, that's too much.
There's no way.
That's too much.
I think the highest Bama could go is 6.
Yeah, I think 6 is probably their ceiling. Maybe in a weird scenario, 5,
Tech, well,
where Indiana moves down, Texas
well then
Tech is.
would OU not be hugging
no,
one
they're
spot behind them?
well. That's what I said in my
Should be.
text the other day.
Should be.
But there's my
That's what I'm saying.
the dilemma that I have is if Bama wins convincingly, Texas Tech gets blown out of the water, or not blown out, but beat slightly.
Yeah, beat Slide.
Sorry, beat slightly. There's a chance that we use the last team in. That's a non-at-large bid. There's a chance we're number 10, legitimately.
Which would put us at
A&M,
or
Or whoever's
Ole
7.
Miss, whoever. Yeah. So it's
Which
a
they
weird,
probably would
weird
be
thing.
more okay with than Ole Miss coming here, because at least it's not exactly the same thing.
We need Georgia.
We need Georgia to win.
We need Texas.
We need Tech to win,
That's really
and then it gets easy.
that's it.
Then everything is kind of easy after that. So those are conference championship games. So I've got a trivia question from Lucas to share with you guys to see if the brain power here can answer his trivia question. And that is, what is OU's conference championship game record? Lifetime.
Lifetime?
We only started playing conference championship games in the Big 12, right?
Correct. Oh, I've already given it away.
We lost to K-State. We lost to
Oh, 11-1.
Say that louder.
11-1.
Jay says 11-1.
I don't know.
Got a different answer?
I'm too lazy to go through every year to year.
10-1.
Jay's right. 11-1. Nailed it. Nailed it. Didn't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Lazy works. So I was short of it too. Yeah, 11-1. The victories and losses. 2000 beat K-State. 2002 beat Colorado. 2003 the only loss to Kansas State. 2004 beat Colorado. 2006 beat Nebraska. 2007 and 2008 beat Missouri. 2010 beat Nebraska in the last Big 12 game for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. 2017 beat TCU, 2018 beat Texas, 2019 beat Baylor, and 2020 beat Iowa State. 11 and
I don't
1.
even remember the Baylor game.
I remember that one. I hardly remember the Iowa State game,
The Baylor game,
except Matt Campbell losing his brains.
yeah, because he's an idiot. He doesn't know the rules of college football. No, 2019 Baylor, I almost cried.
Oh,
Was the Baylor game where he caught him from behind?
uh-huh.
Yes, where Trey Brown caught him from behind. And we were sitting in these
Third string quarterback.
incredible sweet seats, and we're like, we're gonna
Like not just sweet,
but like the sweet seats. And I'll never forget. We go to overtime. Like we're actually like in a position where we might lose this game and not go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I was so upset. I was so
sucked.
so upset.
And then it was awesome.
And then Ramondre freaking scores, and then we hold them.
It was so awesome.
awesome.
Sooners got a
That
great
was with like
conference
a
championship record.
backup quarterback.
Is-
That's what
is that-
the Gary Bohannon.
Is that Nick?
Yeah.
Is that Nick Bonino's?
No, that was in the game. That was in the Baylor game at Baylor. Nick Benito intercepts the ball.
Yeah, yeah. That was it.
That was the comeback.
2019
Yeah,
Baylor
That was the
was
comeback
like,
game.
like CD Lamb catches the ball and like takes it like 40 or 50 yards and then fumbles.
Yeah,
Oh, early.
yeah.
It was like, yeah, second
Got tackled
quarter,
from
but
behind,
We were
like,
gonna go up
yeah.
like 2 scores.
Yeah, we're probably going to put it away.
Yeah, and it was, yeah, that was
That was an epic game. Well, that's a great record. That's a great trivia question, Lucas. Thank you for that. So, we got some predictions to make. Before we get to some of the predictions we will be making, let's talk about predictions we have made. So, the over-unders for the season are done. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just going to tell you where we stand. So, we predicted, I think this is 21 games.
Teams.
21 teams. Yeah, their win totals. We obviously got to all the meat of the SEC and hit the top teams in the Big Ten and the Big 12. So of those, the number one picker with 12 out of 21 correct was Jay, followed by a tie with Connor and Lucas each getting 11, and then I got 10. I was the only one under 500, just slightly. So I didn't look, but I think that's like a reversal of where we were last year in picking it. So that we're not bad as far as getting that, but kind of 50-50.
Do you have, was I good at any particular conference?
It's across the board. You were, nothing stands out for sure, other than I guess the Big Ten. You were kind of weak in the Big Ten, so stronger in the SEC. When we look at the 4-0s, where all of us agreed, we were right on 5 of them. And then when we look at the ones we were 4-0 or 3-1, we were right on 9 of them. So we didn't agree and get many right, but that's where it stands. And as far as predicting the playoff teams, so I should have tallied this. I think we all have a chance to have like 5, maybe 6 of the teams right. We've got a lot of the teams unanimously wrong.
Predict Kansas State.
Consensus playoff
Kansas
teams.
State and Clemson really.
And Miami.
Well, here's the consensus ones that we had, and you can note right away the ones that are possible or they're really sure things or definitely sure outs.
Oh.
Penn State, no.
Mm.
Clemson, no. Oregon, yes. Ohio State, yes. Boise State, no. Alabama, yes. So we're going to be so on that. Now, right now, I've got OU. I had them at an 8. Connor had them at a 7. And we're the only ones that had Oklahoma. And so, no, Jay had Oklahoma at 12. So
Because that is the 9-3.
and getting outdone by Boise State somehow in that, but I guess it could have been possible if
Pretty low
somebody
team.
ran it. Yeah. So we'll circle up with that next week with the totals, the finals, and we'll post it all so everyone can digest how good or bad we were at those predictions. But speaking of predictions, let's get to the locks of the week.
The Realist Deal Locks of the Week.
So locks of the week, let's update where we are. All of us went 2-1 last week. That's really good. We were 8-4 as a team. The listener was 1-2. For the year, I'm 20-22. Connor 17, 24 and 1. Lucas and Jay are tied at 22 and 20. 81, 86 and 1 overall as a team. Listeners 13 and 29. So let's start with our listener. We got first time listener, long time predictor, Caleb. New guy, new subscriber. Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate you as a listener. And I appreciate some of these picks because you're going to agree with some of the things that are about to be said by this team. You got the Ohio State University giving 4 against Indiana. You got Georgia giving 2.5 against Bama. And you got Tulane getting 2.5 against North Texas. So 2 of those 3 are going to find some agreement. One of those is going to find some disagreement. Start with Lucas because he's got the agreement. He's got Ohio State over Indiana by 4. He's got Georgia giving 2.5 to Bama, and he's got Virginia giving 3.5 to Duke. Now that's one of those crazy ones because they already beat them. What was the score if you can look it up in that Virginia Duke game?
20. Sorry, I have it right here.
He's got Ohio State and Georgia.
Yes.
34-17.
34-17. And I mean, I know in conference championship games, things for second time matchups, they get closer, but still 3.5 seems like, wow, I don't know about that, but sometimes those are a sucker's bet. I've got Texas Tech giving 12.5 against BYU. I've got Georgia giving 2.5 against Bama, so I agree with the guys on that. And I've got the different one. I've got North Texas giving 2.5 against Tulane. That's one I got actually a decent amount of confidence in. So we'll see if who's right and who's wrong on that one. But let's go with Connor. What do you got?
I've got Jacksonville State getting 2.5 against Kennesaw State. I am with Steve. I've got North Texas giving 2.5 against Tulane. It's weird. They announced the coaching change last week, and it looks like they played better. So we'll see what they do. And then I've got Western Michigan giving 1.5 against Miami of Ohio.
Not Miami Hurricanes. Miami of Ohio. Well, Jay, you're tied with Lucas right now for the lead. I'm right on the doorstep. I could catch you guys.
Can you?
If things accelerated, not if you pick differently than Lucas. But I've got 3 more weeks to do it. What do you got this week?
Man, I don't know. I was thinking of changing a pick
Because of what you heard?
because of what I heard. Just so Lucas decided it wouldn't tie. No, just because we wouldn't tie. I didn't want to tie him in the.
Well, you got 3 more weeks.
That's the most Lucas.
You got 3 more weeks. I can
that's
see
what I was
him
saying.
screaming at his radio.
No,
That's not allowed.
Until you said that we got 3 more weeks.
It looks to be okay with me.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
I mean, I have Ohio State and Georgia.
So you'd go with those, okay?
I'll go with oh gosh, I don't like any of this. I'll go UNLV.
Oh, okay.
How much?
What is it?
Plus 4.5.
Against
Boise.
Boise. I don't hate that pick at all. And for the record, I stayed away from the Georgia Alabama game because I wanted to pick Georgia, and I don't want to pick a team that is gonna hurt me if they lose.
It's gonna break your heart
My team
and lose your luck of the week.
Good luck to you guys. All
Well,
power to you.
I hope it works. We'll see. I hope it works.
Good football on Saturday.
Good football on Saturday. We get football on Friday. I don't know how good it'll be, but at least it's football. I wish we got at least we got one. I wish we got one of the games to mean something. It's unfortunate that all of them are locked up on Saturday.
They should have done the ACC championship on Friday.
They really should have, because they're going to be going at the same time,
That's the
right?
Pac-12 championship,
Right.
So
yeah,
move it to Friday.
exactly. I completely agree. Well,
Yeah, because you'll have Big 12, SEC, and then you'll have Big 10 and ACC all at the same time.
right. So we've also got prop bet of the week. So Lucas supplied us with that. And before that question gets asked, I'm going to tell us what our records are. So I am 6-8 in prop bets. Connor is 9-5. You lost, but you're still doing good. Lucas is 8-6, and Jay is 7-7. Even Steven right there in the middle. So we've had a good job. We've done a good job, I think, of selecting very interesting prop bets, and Lucas didn't disappoint this time. He does OU host a college football playoff game? A very topical, interesting, uh, be careful what you answer type of question. I'm really interested in Connor's answer because apparently he knows what he's doing when it comes to prop bets. So I'm going to make him start.
I'm going to say we don't.
Where do we go? That would be consistent with what the Connor that I endured on the post game said.
That wasn't me. Apologies to all the listeners out there. I was
That was your alter ego.
a little short of food.
It was
Saturday.
It was you
My
got
friend-
your calories,
It's my friend
just
South.
not
It was
from
my
food.
friend South.
Southie showed up, and your twin, your evil twin, the evil triplet. You got a twin, and now you have an evil triplet in
It'll be like
Southie.
that.
So who are we going to play? Where are we going to go?
I haven't broken it down enough to really do all the
Where are we going to
line
go?
drawing.
Where are we going to go?
I wouldn't mind a game in College Station.
I don't care what you mind. Where are we going?
College Station.
College Station. He's calling it. That's a pretty good prediction. If we don't, it's probably South Bend or College Station. I could see Mississippi, but
Why do we go to South Bend though? They're not bumping Notre Dame above us.
They might. They're weird.
They're
They're
that'd be a
stupid.
move.
They do dumb things.
I'd go to both of those games though.
Jay, what do you got? Do we host? And if so, who do we play? And if not, where do we go?
I felt like they're gonna screw us this whole time,
Yet they did.
and give us a road game.
Yet they didn't up to this point.
And now I feel differently. I think we're gonna be at home, and I think it's Notre Dame.
I'm not worried about them screwing us. I'm worried about results not going our way this weekend.
Yeah, that's
But
a
that's
legitimate
still them
thing.
screwing us.
That's a legit. Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true. That's true.
To a relative extent, we'll see where the chips fall.
Yeah, I will.
Especially,
Yeah,
especially.
Because what I'm saying
no, I
is-
agree.
Especially in a
I'll-
BYU
Our schedule,
Yeah,
our schedule
yeah.
10-2. We
Yep.
should not be.
We should be
9 or-
hosting.
9 or-
It doesn't matter what happens Friday and Saturday.
fair enough.
We should be hosting regardless. I agree.
I mean, the BYU should not move ahead of us if they win that game.
I agree. Totally. Absolutely.
They
Totally.
will though.
And probably Tech should fall behind us.
Tech
They
should fall.
should. I won't.
I think Tech should maybe fall out of the whole thing.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely. So Lucas and I are both yeses. I don't know what Lucas, because I didn't ask him the question. I don't know, but I'm going to guess. I'm going to channel Lucas. Ooh, God. And he is going to say Notre Dame, and I'm going to agree. We're going to host Notre Dame in Norman for the biggest matchup since perhaps the 1985 OU Nebraska game.
Well, you guys
Big,
are all
big
thinking Georgia
matchup.
will win, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. If
If
Georgia
I think
wins,
Georgia's going to win, then
Georgia's supposed to win.
we're not going to fall.
Um,
Bama's not going to jump us.
and even if Bama wins, they could jump us. I mean, they don't have to jump us, or we could all move up together,
I think Tech's going to win. I think
or they could
Georgia's
jump us
gonna
and we
win.
stay where we are.
we're just
Is the
basically
Big
stay
12
where we're at.
championship at 11, like it usually?
I mean,
11 a.m. game.
actually, you want to host Notre Dame. You want Bama, if they win, to jump us, probably. They're 7, we're 8, Notre Dame's 9.
Correct.
You just don't want Miami sneaking in there somehow with whatever they're doing. So,
BYU, Texas Tech is at 11.
yeah, BYU, oh, Big 12's always at 11. I'm sorry, didn't hear what you're asking. And then you got the 2 at 2:30, and then
SEC's at 3.
and SEC's at 3, and then the Big 10 isn't at night.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well, that kind of just about covers it. We could be talking all night about this. The scenarios are fascinating.
we're there though.
We're there, baby. We did it. We
We should be
did
happy.
everything we needed to do to get there. Not the prettiest version, not the best version, not the version it could have been, but it's better than most expectations. Not all expectations, but most expectations. And I'm proud. I'm happy.
Does a
This is
playoff
awesome.
loss dampen your season?
No, I mean, dampens the season. No.
First, no, it doesn't dampen it. I will be disappointed with the first round playoff loss because I think we could beat anybody. I think we could beat anybody.
Well, I think that would be apropos for how we came up short of our potential.
Yeah.
And so you'd say we could beat anybody, and we could have beaten anybody.
No,
we could have been 12-0.
If we go and give up 35 points in the first round,
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
then it's really like, what was that?
Or we really can't even put anything together, which will surprise me. It's like, it's not like back in the day when Jason White faced or the Sooners faced six second string quarterbacks, and we put up 60 a game, and we just rolled. And then turns out we weren't maybe necessarily that good. We know how good we are. We know how good our defense is. We know how good the defenses we faced are. So there could be a surprising outcome, but it's tough to diminish it too much other than to say they left us hungry.
I think the most frustrating part in a loss for me would be if it's, 13 points from the offense.
Yeah.
Like that to me.
And you know what it was. There it is. Yeah.
But to me,
you had 3 weeks and you couldn't get it together.
Be a great talking point for 8 months.
It will be as we build and get stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, we lose 30 to 28 or something, or 28-27.
Just got beat.
Sucks.
My fear did not get realized. My fear was we would be where Texas is, and our shortcomings would just be enough to keep us out of the playoff.
Like a team out.
Yeah, and I had high expectations for the team coming into the season. I thought that the floor was just getting left out. So I think that we obviously were good enough not to hit that. We're above that, but we're not good enough to where I have super confidence in what we could do going forward. That's the way I put it.
Any surprise that first 2 years in the SEC, Texas, OU in the playoffs?
No.
I mean,
no.
I wonder if
the SEC might have some surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, wake up and smell the really good team.
Yeah, I think those. I mean, I think, I think, Steve, you kind of said it well. I think not for us, it's probably not a surprise. I think for people who were not in tune to those programs.
I think even our Big 12 foes actually are surprised.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're going to go to the SEC. You're going to really feel
That's all I heard.
Yeah.
That's all I heard from everybody.
And now I'm hearing how great the Big 12 is. And yeah, God, it's some crazy reevaluation going on. Well, we're going to be back next week. We're going to talk about the actual playoff field, where we're going. We're going to be talking about the game, and then we'll have two. So we have 2 pregame pods. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Until then, Boomer.
Sooner.